Listen, you know what time it is. It's time for another episode of your favorite new podcast entitled We Hate You, Internet! Listen, man, come on, man. Come on, gather around. We back in this thing one more again. I'm Wilfred Hamilton, your host, and this is We Hate You Internet, a fun yet informative program that's designed to bring awareness to some of the negative aspects of the internet on our lives, as well as celebrate the beautiful simplicity of our humanity. Uh, I'm here with my co-host,
Claire Aguirre. Hello, everyone.
Claire. See, there's another thing. See, Clara is working on coming out of her shell.
Yes, I
You know what I
am.
mean? So she wanted to add that little extra. Hello. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying?
part of the way that I, loosen up and get
Oh,
comfortable.
so she gonna put her hat back a little bit.
Like 4 or 5 times just redoing my hair. Yeah.
I tell you, one day she gonna wear a ponytail and be like, "I'm Ponytail
Ponytail and glasses.
they
Make a
gonna
whole
reveal
moment.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Big reveal.
Straight up, like okay, we being silly. Let's jump in. Once again, we just want to say thank you for all those who've supported the platform thus far. All the likes, all the comments, the follows. Man, we really appreciate all the support. And we want to continue to move forward from here. We want to continue to grow. We have so much in store moving forward. So many topics we want to discuss. We should be bringing in some guests soon to kind of add some value to the discussion. And we just want to do it. We just want to be of a benefit uh, to the people who follow us and to the rest of the world when they get a hold of it anyway. Like I said, just want to take a brief moment just to say thank you. We greatly and sincerely appreciate the support. So today, we're going to be talking about civility. And that's just like for those that may not know what the word means, because it's one of those things, you know, it's just like good behavior, right? Being kind, being courteous, being uh, um, considerate of others, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Being civil, agreeable, things of that nature, right? And I find that this is a topic that really needs to be had because of the way that our world is moving. Um, this is something that people really need to start paying a little bit closer attention to. We're slipping into an area in our society where we're really losing sight of of the value of a human life. And you know what I'm saying? As crazy as that is, and it's not like people are going around just killing everybody, but it's just a matter of there's a lack of concern or a lack of consideration for the next man or woman. You know what I mean? And that's really sad. You know what I mean? Let's just kick it off. I'm gonna start from here, right? Um, we always try to kind of think macro, big picture. For those that aren't really familiar with platforms, maybe your first time tuning in, we like to think big picture and then kind of work our way down into the specifics of a discussion, right? And so when we think about humanity as a whole, throughout history, we mentioned on previous podcasts, we are social creatures.
Hmm.
We live in community, right? And in community, it's important that you be able to get along with people. And it's not just a matter of like, hey neighbor, you know what I'm saying? But there are safety implications to that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a land and you have the people that own the land next to you, right? You may live in a place where uh, uh, the law enforcement, if there is a place, if there is such a thing in where the community you're living in, like they may not be able to get to you for quite some time. And so you need people, neighbors, or neighbors have to band together. People in the community have to band together in order to provide a certain level of security for themselves and each other. So it's no longer just me and my family. Like I can think of like we all have families. We can all look out for each other. And so there's going to take a certain level of civility in that process, in order for everybody to be agreeable and everybody to be on the same page and understand. So the necessity for civility in a situation like that becomes much more apparent, because there's a need for this community. You know what I mean? But as we find ourselves becoming more and more isolated from one another, more and more distant,
Mm.
uh, you know, you can order anything online. You ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to be around people from pretty much anything, really, if you don't want to. And we've reached that area, that place in our society where, like I said, you have the perception. I say perception that you don't need other people, and as a result of that, people have, and this has been happening over. I mean, this has been a thing for it's been a thing for quite some time. You know what I mean? But I think it's really been exacerbated with the advancement of technology, and specifically like the internet, right? I mean, because through the internet, all these other things are possible. DoorDash is possible because of the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like AI is possible because of the internet. Um, Amazon is possible because of the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like social media is possible because of the internet. So like when I say we hate you internet, this podcast, there's all these different things that we talk about, but all these other things are possible because of the invention of the internet. And it basically opened the world up to where, you know, it opened all the borders. Like you can reach from one end to the other because of the internet did that. And it was a great thing. It brought with it a lot of benefits and a lot of uh, goodness. The word I'm is the word I'm thinking is, I
Like
always do this.
advancements.
Advancements, benefits.
Mm.
I was thinking amenities, but that's not the word I was thinking in my
Mm.
head. But anyway, um, yeah, comforts.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
sometimes it just it
It
just
just takes a minute.
I be reaching for it. You know what I'm saying? It be ready for me like that. So you ain't catching me. But yeah, comforts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but like anything and everything, you know what I'm saying, created by human beings, there's pros and there's cons.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily a bad thing per se that there are cons. You just have to be aware of the fact that they exist so that you can minimize them. That's it. You're never going to fully eliminate cons, and that's just the nature of all decisions in the world. There's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be pros and cons. You know what I mean? And so you want to be aware of those things, assess those things, so that you can say, okay, how can we minimize the effect of the cons, right? And um, so the internet has caused people's need for another to be diminished, and it's caused the devaluation for the human life. Um, I would even say that the value of a human life has gone under the value of animals, of, I mean, like another person's property, which, like I said, that ain't new, but I'm just saying, like, a person would have more outrage about the destruction of a tree than they might care about a person, you know, be a loss of life for a person. And you got to really think about, like, what are the implications of that.
Mm-hmm.
You forget that you're a human being too. But I'm okay. I'm isolating my bubble. I'm safe. I don't care about nobody else. But that situation you're watching, you're viewing, that could be you or somebody you love. How
That's
would
so
you feel
true.
about it then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So like we wanted to kind of talk about, the being civil. You know what I mean? The art of, like, civility in society, and why it's still so important. Miss Clara, did you have anything that you like to add?
Yeah. I was. This is a topic that like has come to mind a few times, and it's a question that I always find myself asking because that there's always that story, right, of the Good Samaritan,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it kind of relates to the idea of civility and caring for your fellow human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like there's been such a disconnect created by the screen in our hand that we don't necessarily feel like empathy in very important situations, or even like, I don't want to say sympathy, but like a need to protect or help, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was There was a an article that I had read not too long ago of a woman who was sexually assaulted and violated on a train, and this
Mm,
happened in, I think it was Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly. And rather than help this woman, the passengers on board witnessing this happen just recorded it and then proceeded to upload the video onto the internet. And now I cannot recall at the moment if they called the police. I'm assuming that they did because the police did end up going, but I can't recall. But that kind of that just made me question, like, does the good Samaritan still exist?
mm.
Does it still exist? Because how many times have we gone on the internet and seen even like videos of people fighting, right? Like World Star, things like that. And it's though it's fighting, like it's mutual combat in some ways. Um, I mean, that's still, you're witnessing violence, right?
Yeah.
Happening in front of you. Is it okay to turn a blind eye? Is it okay, or not even turn a blind eye, but encourage? You know what I mean? You're recording it and then you're uploading it. You're kind of creating a cycle. Like you're putting the supply out for the demand. You know what I mean?
You're capitalizing
Off of someone else's uh
misfortune.
misfortune, yeah,
Yeah.
off of someone else's, the violence that's happening between two people. And I think that kind of that creates an environment that's like, I mean, it's hostile, and then a numbness too, because I mean, I would like to believe that people are good, right? I'd like to believe that. I do. I want to
Mm.
believe that. But then you see stuff like this where there's sort of like a numbness or even like a indifference towards things like that happening. And I feel like it has happened because of the screen, because of the phone, because of the internet, because that phone. Mom, my head hurts. That phone. Mom, my stomach hurts. That phone. No, but
Yeah,
anyways.
that phone. That's what I'm saying. That thing died.
I do think it's that big divide. I think it's created by like this false sense of validation and community created on the internet, like, because people are gonna hype you up, people are gonna post and share and be like, oh my god, you see that video, or they always hype up the cameraman, like, man, that cameraman got all the right angles, or this and that. And people, when they're uploading these things, they feel good after uploading it, though it's a bad situation. Like, there was actually a video and I'll reel it back after this, but there was another video of a girl fighting once, and I think she pulled out a shovel and she hit the other girl over the head with the shovel. And this was shared, and I think it got over millions of views, but the girl ended up dying. She ended up passing away.
Mm.
And that's crazy. When you think about it, that's I don't know if that's good for people to witness, especially because the fact of the matter is it's not just people, it's children that are seeing this. So what does that mean for our future? What does that mean for the future of our kids, what with them witnessing and consuming this? And I think it does, that adds to the way that we see people. There is less value put into the safety of others, because you kind of, in a way, you feel like you're getting more of that dopamine hit by putting up videos like that or sharing things like that, and that disconnect is kind of encouraged. But you like to take it away, Hamilton?
I think I can add a thing or two to that. Like I don't I want to take this opportunity, right? Like I don't want this to be like looked at like, we're snowflakes and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
no fighting. Like, I mean, listen, man, cat's gonna rumble. It is what it
It is,
is. You
yeah,
know
it
what I'm saying?
is.
Hey, man, listen.
That's just
Like,
the fact
yeah, cat's
of
gonna
life.
scrap.
Yeah.
Cat's gonna scrap, and sometimes it's for good reason. So it is what it is. But like, and like somebody recording it, like, it's funny, ha he he.
Mm-hmm.
People watching, they make comments, ha he he, right? I'm not like all like, oh, my feelings hurt because how can people be so brutal? Like,
Yeah.
listen, man, the
Yeah.
Coliseum was a thing. So this ain't
Yeah.
nothing new. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's people have always been fascinated and like,
With violence.
yeah, with violence. You know what I'm saying? And like, so I'm not trying to act like this is some type of recent thing. Only the internet is the reason why. Like, man, forget that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm looking at the
Mm-hmm.
camera. That's not what I'm saying. But what I really do want to point out though is just the disconnect and how it's not good. You know what I mean? Like even with the Coliseum, right? The idea is that these are criminals and
Mm.
like they're lawbreakers, and so like that's the reason when this is their death sentence, and so they're here to entertain us with their life. You know what I mean? That was the idea. Uh, and you go and you watch this scene, and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Um, this isn't anything new as far as people being fascinated by violence. You know what I mean? Like I remember having a conversation. Uh, I was thinking, do I want to say this? No, I ain't. I'm a G, so I ain't worried about it. I ain't no fuck up. Uh, I'm having a conversation with I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who, if it comes to me, I'll say. But I was just talking about the effects. Like you see these videos of like, or not videos, photos of like 1920s, 1930s people uh, lynching black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and those of clearer pigmentation or lighter pigmentation, I should say. You see these photos, these kids in
Mm-hmm.
these photos, families, generations standing in front of another mutilated body, smiling. And like, as a black person, right, I see this, you see those videos, your initial thing is like, man, disgust and anger, right? Like, um,
They would even have like cookouts
yeah,
and like
it'd
parties.
be a whole
Yeah, they
thing,
would
like, you
do
know what I'm
that.
saying? Like, and I'm going somewhere with this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, and I remember thinking and taking a step back and thinking to myself, like, as traumatic as this is, like for my family, like for people that are like me and families like mine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And and the generational damage that it causes. I remember thinking to myself, like, what damage does it cause the people in the photo that are alive? You know what I mean? Because you can't look at a scene like that and it don't affect you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to loosen up some bolts and screws in your head to
Mm-hmm.
watch a person be tortured alive, especially like a little kid.
Yeah.
That's and now some of these people in those photos are still alive. They got their hair white. They still alive today. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I'm making a point. The point that I'm making is that these things affect you. Now, it's being live and live in color is one thing, but then some of the edge is taken off when you're sitting behind a screen and you watch these things. Then it looks like just a TV show. Then it comes to like the regular person, you know what I mean, that I may not want to watch somebody get brutalized in real life or get murdered in real life, right? But I feel okay with it when I'm watching it behind a screen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the same stuff is happening in your head. Like it's shifting some stuff around in your head, and it don't feel like it's real to you anymore. You know what I mean? But like, but it's slowly, but it started. It causes this process where you start to devalue human life, and that's the part that's crazy because, like you mentioned, woman on on a train, it's all these people standing around, and the first thought that somebody would have instead of being like chivalrous and like, man, let me go help. And I get it, like it's a lot of different factors, blah 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 blah. But like that never thought that thought never crossed your mind with all these people here to think, let's help her.
Mm-hmm.
Your first inclination is, let me get on my phone and record.
And then have the audacity to put it on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, listen, because at the end of the day, the views and the recognition are much more important to me than this person. And that's like, listen, that's the bottom line. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather get the praise and the accolades for posting this video and going viral than actually like helping this person. That is much more important to me than this person. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and like people that are watching these videos, I've done it myself. Like you watch, like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And like it's funny in certain aspects and the way the person feel and all this kind of crazy stuff, right? But then you take a step back and you kind of think to yourself like, yo, like that's a real person. You know what I mean? I was seeing a video of this kids get into a fight, one cat get melted, yep, knocked out for those. Don't know what that reference meant. He crumpled it like dirty laundry. I'm violating my own principle right now. No, but like I said, like I've been watching the video and I'm like, dang, right? And then like you're watching it, and I remember thinking like that kid about the same age as my son. Now, what I saw a video of my son get knocked out. You know what I mean? And the kid that was getting into the fight, didn't look like he was really like in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like he was being fought. You know what I'm saying? Or either he wasn't he was ready to quit, but the other guy just kept going. And that's kind of one of those rules. It all depends on the circumstances, but like it's one of those things when you get into a fight in the street, like, okay, when it's over, it's over. You know what I mean? You get to a certain point, cat get touched up a little bit, and it's like, okay, well, hey man, I'm done. And typically general rules should be like, okay, well, we done. I mean, may give you one more to grow on. And then you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's it, it's over. But then the cat go beyond, be like, whoa, 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 that's it. Like it's over. Like you tripping. You know what I mean? And it was one of those situations where he just kind of kept going, pop, 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 and then like boom, lights out. You know what I'm saying? Just and like he was like gone and he hit him again and he hit him again. It was like, that's enough, right? And I was thinking to myself, like, man, what was that with my son? How would I feel if I saw my son get knocked out like that helplessly on a video? Now other people in the comments, because I don't know that person, I'm like, yeah, like it's funny you making all these comments, but like that's a real person, man. Like, and that's the part that I'm talking about. I'm not saying that stuff it can't be comical, blah 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 blah. You watch it, like dang, the shock factor. But you have to make sure that you reach down somewhere inside and remember, like, yo, these are still real people. And like I don't lose that connection to like a real person. Like I'm watching from a screen. I can't do nothing about the fact this guy get into a fight. But if I'm there, like, what would I do if I was there? Would I just pick up my phone and start recording? You know what I mean? If somebody was in need of help, somebody getting attacked by a dog, do I just sit there and be like, oh snap? You know what I'm saying? Or do I be like, and this person screaming out, they getting bit, and you like, man, that's the first thing you think of is grab my phone. Like, that shit, like,
that shouldn't be the reflex.
It shouldn't be your reflex. It really shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's because like people are, like I said, there are several things that have become more important to you or to us than human life. You know what I mean? I'm gonna throw this out there once again since I'm being controversial this episode. There are people that respect, like I said, there are people that respect animal life more than human life. They'll protest if they see a dog getting beat on a video. If they see a human getting beat, who cares? Like they laugh, it's laughing emoji at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Somebody kick a dog and they gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be on news, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's because, and I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna kind of see you guys say your mouth up, so I know you got something. And it's because of our perception of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because people have dogs, right? People love their dogs, and the reason why they love their dogs is because they can control their dogs. They can put words in their dog's mouth. Oh, you miss me, don't you? Oh yeah, I know you over there thinking about that. You better go sit down somewhere. And they have a whole conversation in their mind with that dog. That dog don't speak English. The dog watches you because that's all that they all they got to do, and they react to you. They learn your mimic. They learn your body language. They learn the fluctuation in your voice. All these kind of things they know based on those things what the play is. But they don't speak English. You know what I'm saying? But a person have a whole conversation with a dog and be like, yeah, they understand what I'm talking about. They understand your mannerisms. They understand your tone of speech. You know what I mean? But if you were like, Jefferson, you know what I'm saying? And like, up, and you just said anything like, boop, 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 boop. They gonna be like, oh, because they hear the raise in your voice, they gonna be like, oh, snap. They gonna react to that. Because like, oh man, you happy. Like, what's going on? We getting treats? What we doing? But with human beings, you have to like deal with their imperfections. And people would rather, they don't want to deal with that because it messes up this whole image that they have in their head of what they want their life to be. And that's a sad thing because what that causes is mental anguish because you want to try to live a filtered life. You know what I'm saying? But you have to learn how to deal with the imperfections of life because they will always exist. And if you're trying to live in a world where things aren't perfect, you're going to find yourself in trouble. It's going to breed in you anguish. You know what I'm saying? Anxiety. That's why these things are on the rise as they are. Because people are like, they are consistently losing the ability to function in a world that doesn't work the way they want it to. Imperfection, flaws, like in life, I'm saying. They are slowly but surely like losing the ability to be able to process that. And that's like really, really sad. You know what I'm saying? And I went off to the dirt road. We coming back. But like take a step back, you know what I'm saying, and really just kind of think about like, yo, man, don't lose sight of the fact that these are real people that you're watching. They live real lives. And like their life matters just as much as yours does. Their safety should matter as much as yours does. And you may not be able to do anything about what you're seeing on the screen, right? But if you had the opportunity to do something, would you? That's a question. And if you talk about questions of the day, that should be the question. Like, if you had the opportunity to help somebody, would you? If they needed help, would you help them?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, would you care enough about that person's well-being that you would actually lend them a hand? And maybe not even a situation where like it would cost you your life, just because if you had the ability to help that person, would you help? You know what I mean? Like that's a question that I think it's a very important question to actually take some time to actually ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like, man, it's a crazy world when like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can watch another person just get, run down in the street, and I mean that literally or metaphorically, and just be like,
Yeah.
pick up my phone. Like, that's the only value that a human has for you is what prop they can play in your next video. That's raw. You know what I'm saying?
That's yeah, that's very true. You said something that kind of made a little like light bulb go up in my head, but you said you mentioned like the dogs, right? And how people like they love dogs so much cuz they can like kind of put words in their mouth. I love animals. I do. I've always loved animals. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved animals. And growing up in a like in an immigrant, culture, household, they view animals differently. And so that was always kind of like um weird for them, right? How much I cared for animals. But even with the fact that I love and care for animals, I've noticed something with the way that now people interact with animals and with children. And I know people say, "Oh, well, dogs are the new kids, right? And plants are the new dogs." But and I can understand that, with the world being so expensive, the world we live in being so expensive and people not getting paid nearly enough to survive, I can understand it for that aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen like videos, little clips of like a little kid falling and getting hurt, right? Or running around in a restaurant, they fall and get hurt. Or someone accidentally trips a kid and someone in the comments will put, haha, do it again. Aw, that looked like it hurt. Do it again. Or they'll put like these little like kind of cruel jokes or cruel comments. Or there was one video of a little kid who had a water bottle, I think, and it was a pit bull just sitting there. Pit bull was minding his business, and the little kid hits the pit bull and goes back and tries hitting him again. And the pit bull looks like it's irritated, obviously, but almost to a point where it might even want to attack. Thankfully, the owner was a responsible pit bull owner, and I don't know what was going on with the parents of the child, but in the comments, people are like, "Oh, if that was my dog, I'd do this to that kid, or I would just let it happen, or this, or that." Like, what? That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. That's a kid. I mean, I can understand like you love your animal. I understand that. And fine, I respect it because you are putting energy into something that you love and care for.
Indeed.
But that's a child. Like, what if someone said that to you when you were a little kid? Because kids don't know any better. Kids rely on their parents. And you can't get mad at a child for the fault of the parent. You know what I mean? Because they don't know any better. They're just kind of existing and living in that moment because they're not able to decide, okay, this is safe, okay, this is not. They're not able to do these things. But we kind of like now I feel like people have gone so they put them on the same level. And I don't know if that's okay.
Mm.
That's not to say that animals, we shouldn't respect and love animals
Agreed.
because I genuinely do. But I don't know if that's like, come on, if it that's that child will grow up and now our lifespan, has gotten higher and they will grow up and become adults. And for you to turn around and say, "Oh, I would trip that kid or I would do that to that kid." Like, man, you are the problem. Not that kid. It's you. You're the problem because the kid doesn't know any better and your lack of sympathy and compassion is why we continue to create people that also have a lack of sympathy and compassion. Like it's just a cycle. And until we can respect, even the life of a child and the feelings of a child, like I don't think that I think that we'll continue to see these things, but yeah, I've noticed that too. I feel like you can just go on a video of a kid being a little rough with the dog, and people will just, they do kind of bash on the parents, which in my opinion, that's where the heat should lie. Because if you're going to be a responsible parent and a responsible dog owner, like you have to be willing to differentiate the two.
Right.
Like a successful dog owner who also has children, they can recognize the fact that, okay, they're different. It's different categories. You know what I mean?
Should.
So yeah, I think that is a very interesting topic, because I do think that there's been like this change. I don't know if this is how people have always felt, but I think people, and maybe it is because now to certain people, like dogs are what they put their time and energy in and what they care about. But I mean, how can we say that it's the same as the life of a human,
Yeah, because human
of
beings
a
let.
child?
Yeah, because the thought process of human beings let you down.
Yeah,
Your dog will love you forever, but human beings suck. I mean,
yeah.
and but man, like you're a human. You know what I'm saying? You let people down before, but
Mm-hmm.
like you still a human though. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I said, I don't think we have a whole nother time to like to jump all into it. I do want to start kind of wrapping this thing up, and I want to leave people with this thought. Uh, I was watching a video, and this was kind of really kind of sparked me to talk about this. I was watching a video of this guy, and I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like a prank, and I'm not sure if the guy, uh, there was a guy, he was talking to a guy who was homeless. It was like an alley or something like that, and I'm not sure if the guy that was homeless was an actor or not. Didn't look like it, but maybe I give it the benefit of the doubt. The guy goes up to me, he's like, "Hey, I was gonna go get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go and get something to eat for you. You got something going on, da 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 da." And so that he's like, oh man, the guy's like, thank you. He goes inside the place like a burger joint, whatever. He come back out with the food. He's like, yeah, it's so crowded. I'm gonna just come out here or whatever. Like, oh, he's like, and the guy sitting on the curb, like looking up at him, like, man, like he's grateful. And then the guy proceeds to like take the drink and he put a straw in and he started drinking the drink. You know what I mean? Uh, then he put him, hey, I was thirsty, man. He put the cup down and he's talking to the guy, like, yeah, man, it's like it's a lot of stuff going on. People need help, blah, 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 blah. And then the guy's unwrapping the burger, and the guy that's supposed to be homeless is like looking like, okay, well, he's gonna give me. And then the guy unwraps the burger, throws the wrapper to the side, and they take like these humongous bite out of the sandwich, out of the burger. And he's like, yeah, man, it's so crowded, I'm just gonna eat out here. And so he's eating the burger in front of the guy's face, and he's taking the fries and eating them all wild. Fries fall on the ground, pouring the fries. It's my wasting basically. And the guy's on the ground just looking like he don't really like know what's going on. Like he like what? And the guy and it's like, yeah, man, all right, I'm gonna holler, and he leave. And it's just like, and like whether it was a joke or not, or whether it was, and everybody watches like, hi, it's funny, but like if you really think about like, yo, man, wow, and it was some people in the comments like, man, yeah, they were people in the comments that were upset too. So I'm not saying everybody was like laughing. Some people are like, man, you're gonna get what's coming to you. Somebody should touch it, but whatever. But this is the kind of video that goes viral. And the thing this is the thing that I really warn about, right? Is when you see something like that, you may think it's some type of funny. It's kind of funny when you just see the irony of the scene that you're watching. You look at it from a comedy perspective because you watch TV shows and it's kind of like funny, like ha he he. But and the lines can get blurred sometimes in your mind. I get it. I've been there, right? And I'm not like criticized. This is not like to criticize people that laughed and all. It's not. What this really is just to understand, like you need to make sure that you differentiate reality from video. You know what I'm saying? And what's right and what's wrong. Like it's certain stuff that's just not funny. You know what I mean? And like you need to be able to keep that in track in your own mind. Forget telling everybody else. Make sure you understand. Like, yo, I laughed at this because of this, but in real life, that's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like in real life, that's a real person. That's not cool. You know what I mean? Because this video goes viral. Other people watch it. They look in the comment section and they think to themselves, when I see a homeless person, that would be in the back of my mind. I can do this and like I can get views. There's a guy that was on a prank, and I've been saying this for years. Like somebody gonna around and get themselves killed. Sure enough, like some guy got hospitalized because he's trying to be a prank, got shot. But other people watch this stuff and they think, oh well, that's a way to get views, to be have success at the expense of another person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's not good, and that's something that you need to always be checking yourself, because what it does is it further causes the mistrust of humanity in the eyes of other human beings. You know what I'm saying? And like at the end of the day, regardless of whether you thinking you can feel live in a world without other people, you still need other people. You are not designed to live by yourself. You're not designed to function by yourself. You are designed to function in a community of other people. You need other people, whether you like it or not. You're gonna need other people, and so like, and for people that watch these things and they get upset about it, and you feel like, man, hoping humanity is lost. Listen, you still have choices. You can choose to be the change that you want to see. I always say that to myself. Like if it's something that I don't like, I'm like, well, I can be the change that I want to see. I can start with me. I can at least say, well, I'm not gonna do these kind of things. I'm gonna hold myself accountable not to be this kind of person, not to do these kinds of things, to show a different perspective, to have a different thought process, so that somebody else in the world will see everybody don't think like this. One person, one to one. You know what I'm saying? I may not be able to ever reach the whole world. You know, that ain't necessarily my thing, but like one to one. Somebody else say, well, at least I know another guy that don't think like that. That's my thing. Like I'll be that one person to say, well, everybody in the world don't think like this, so that we don't have to just feel like nobody in the world care about you. That if you were I'd hurt, that nobody would try to help you or nothing like that. Like, and it's not true. Everybody in the world is not like that, but we want to continue to present that message too. You see what I'm saying? That like people still do care about people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we can understand it's a video, blah 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 blah, but like at the end of the day, people still care about people, and I think that that's a message that needs to be continue to be spread. The fact of being civil with other people is something that needs to be promoted, and we're gonna do our best to promote that. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure that there's gonna come a time, and we're gonna wrap this up. There's gonna come a time when people will listen to our show and not agree with some of the things that we have to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But we're gonna handle that civilly. Like I'll never just be like, oh, you know what I mean? F you, blah blah blah. Never. If you have a different opinion, then I'll say, hey, but what are your points? Prove your point. Explain why you're saying what you're saying.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I may not agree, but I'm gonna always give you the opportunity to say this is your thoughts, and I ain't got a problem with that. Because listen, you don't have to agree with everything I say. You have a mind, you can think. Whatever you feel is what you feel. That's cool. I think it's great to have discussion, because through that process, you may say one thing in your whole dissertation that may really get me like, I never thought about it from that perspective, and it helps me grow. I may say something and you say, that's interesting. You may not agree with everything I say, but it may help you grow. And that's what it's always about anyway. Until the day you leave this world, you're trying to grow. You're just trying to get better. That should be the objective anyway. And so, like, listen, negativity don't have to reign. And you don't have to feed the negativity.
I think that's one of the best things too, is like, because when I see videos like that, I always think to myself, this person is being a troll. They're being a troll. Like, that's what it is. Because good attention, bad attention, it's still attention. So a lot of times you'll see these things that are very triggering, and sometimes the best thing to do is just not watch it. The best thing to do is to just walk away, because you're giving them exactly what they want. Don't give them that react. They want to make you mad. They want to make you feel upset, because they're trying to trigger something within you so that they can get, more interactions and whatnot. But I think, it is true. I would like to believe that people are still good. People are good. Not that they're still good, but they are good, and that they want to be good, and that, there are people that care for each other. So
straight up.
Yeah.
That's the episode for today. We went over a little bit again. But hey, listen. Hopefully that extra time was just the amount you needed to move you on your way in positivity and all that kind of jazz. So once again, I'm Wilfred Hamilton. Glad to gig. You know what I'm saying? We want to just bid you safety, be safe, blessings, be blessed, and above all, stay human.